So I says, yo, haha, it's all in the words.
What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? How you doing? This your boy Podrey, and if you're watching this, I want to say thank you. This is my first video on this channel. You know, a reaction video. I want to do many more. I want to create dialogue, conversation about some good things. You know, something that we can plant a seed with. I don't like wasting my time with a lot of bullshit. You know what I mean? I know that there's a time to play around and fuck off, you know what I mean? But majority of the time I like to learn something. You know what I'm saying? But let's check out this video from Harvey. This is 2022, so this video is older. It's older. Let's see how old it is. Yeah, this video is from 2016. So let's check this out.
That the majority of people that I know make, including myself, I made this mistake. That's why if I could help, here's a mistake that the majority of people that I know make, including myself, I made this mistake. That's why if I could help somebody understand it better. Most people I know mess off all of their 20s. From 20 to 29, they just jack it off. They just jack off their 20s. They mess them up, man. Because 20 is that age, man, where you just really just trying to have too much fun. You're free, you're out of college, you don't live at your mama's house no more, you're out on your own. So what do? Mostly all of us, 98% of the people I know, we spend our 20s, man, trying to exert ourselves in the fun category. We so big, we gotta get off work so we can go to happy hour. We gotta get off work so we can go get high. We gotta get off work so we can go drink a cold one. We gotta get off work, go smoke one. We gotta go hang out with the fella. We gotta play video games. The average person blows all of their 20s. Then when you find out that life ain't waiting on you, now you're 30. Now guess what happens to mostly all of us, including myself? I spent all of my 30s trying to do the things that I should have been doing in my 20s. So now my life is behind. Now you look up and you're 40s. You in your 40s. And now you're trying to do the things and have the things that you could have had in your 30s, man, had you just done what you should have did in your 20s. And then the tragedy starts to occur. You look up and you're 50. Now that don't mean it's too late for you, because it wasn't too late for me. But you look up and you're 50, and now all of a sudden, all through your 50s, you trying to create and have a life that you could have created and had in your 30s. You trying to have it in the 50s. My suggestion to all young people, if you could just hear me clearly, don't do what I did. So you look at my life now and you think, oh, Steve, you got it going on. Man, you don't know how hard I made it on myself, taking the route that I took. If I could start over again and change one thing, I would buckle down in my 20s while you're young and energetic. Alleviate some of that BS that you're so dedicated to. The 20s, man, you dedicated to them girls, them dudes, them video games, them clubs, them happy hours, that smoke, that drink, that freedom. You so, but in dedicating yourself to that freedom and that fun, man, you lock yourself out of the American dream. And it happens to 98% of the people. And the reason I know it is because it happened to me. And if I could tell anybody, man, man, if I could do it again, I would have changed the way I lived my 20s. And if I was in my 30s, you really in your 30s, it's time out for clubs and drinking and happy hours and parties. In your 30s, you should just be about the business of your life. Because say what you want to say about me. Every time I hear Steve, man, he trying to preach to somebody. I'm really just trying to share some valuable information because I lived all the messed up sides of it, man. Flunking out of school, man. Losing everything I ever had. Divorces. I'm telling you, man, I did so many things wrong. I made so many mistakes. Homeless, living in a car. I made incredible mistakes. I could have avoided a lot of those. Now, it created who I am. Now, once you've made the mistakes, just get up, man. Don't wallow in them, because you can recover from all mistakes. But you gotta want to recover. You gotta ask for forgiveness. You gotta go to all the people that you crossed and you're wrong and you let down. You gotta say, look, I'm sorry. I made a mistake. Forgive me, and move on. Now, everybody ain't gonna forgive. That's life. But God is in the forgiving business. And see, people trip out when I throw God at them. I'm just telling you, man, the reason I throw God out there is because God is available for everybody. I always wanted to be rich. But if you want to be downright hardcore successful, have a little extra money, you got to get busy. Whatever you're doing right now, as hard as you think you're working, you got to quadruple that. And then when you look up and that ain't working, like, here's my father always told me this, and I'm going to let y'all go. He said, son, when you think you've done all you can do and you can't do no more, do some more. Do some more.
Hey, some of that, I can agree with some of that. I remember when I was younger, I would say, I think I was going into the 6th grade. It was a summer that I was going into the 6th grade. I think it's about that time. I lived in these apartments, and for each set of apartments, you know, it's like you got, we had 8 apartment units. You know what I'm saying? I was downstairs. I had an upstairs neighbor. I had a neighbor to my left, and an upstairs to my left, and then across from me, and then upstairs, and then over the angle across from me, and upstairs. You know what I mean? That's 8 units. And for those 8 units, there was like a fuse box. I want to say it was a green box. Well, I was sitting on that one day, and I got flooded with a bunch of what if questions. What if this happened to you? What if that happens to you? What if this don't happen to you? What if that don't happen to you? You know what I'm saying? And the only answer that I got was, if you're still breathing, just keep on moving. All right. I began to think that, you know, once I graduated from high school, I'd be about, 18, right? And so I figured that most people go to college for like 4 to 8 years, right? So I was like, let's say I did 8 years worth of college. All right, 18 and 8 is 26, right? So I was like, okay, so let's say I get out college, 26. Well, I would need to go to work, you know what I'm saying, in the field that I went to school for. And once I got that job, you know what I mean, it's going to take me at least a good 3-4 years to get settled in and really start pushing for promotions. So I was like, maybe by the time I'm like 25 or 26 is when I can, be happy at my job and start dating. My hopes for dating was like the hopes of what it used to be like back in the day, where you had to get the consent of, well, you had to meet the parents first. It's like, hold on, you meet the girl, right? You meet the woman, you gotta talk, and when you decide that you want to spend time with each other, you know what I'm saying, and learn more about each other, you get introduced to the parents. And traditionally back then, it's like the father, you know what I'm saying, give you the stern look and give you the preach. I mean, give you the, you know, the gospel, you know what I'm saying? He'll let you know that that's his baby girl, and if you mess up with her, you know, better be watching your back, and you know what I'm saying, things like that. But you know, and still, even after that, you take a few years to get to know each other. Alright, so I was like, you know, at 26, I started doing that. And then, you know, about 28, 29, you know, then that's when I started to settle down. Not marriage, you know what I'm saying? I was like, you know, not marriage, just the settling down part. Be like, yo, you know, I might date this woman exclusively instead of playing the field. Because I always felt like while you're dating one person, you should be allowed to pursue other women. You know what I mean? Just in case a week or a month later, that one person just don't work out. You always have backups and things like that. But it wouldn't be backups, you know, it'd just be parallels. As long as you're honest with people. I always felt like you gotta be honest with people. I learned vicariously through other people. Meaning, I seen how other people's making mistakes, and one of the most mistakes that I had seen was that people were trying to settle down with the first person they come with. Meaning, hey, you know, let's go through puppy love, let's go through infatuation, let's go through, you know, some type of romance, and then we have sex and then move in together. I was like, that's crazy. As I got older, I was just like, you know, you don't get to know who you are until you're in your 30s, 40s. So, how are you going to try to get to know somebody else and think that you know them if you don't even know yourself all the way? So I was like, you know, at least by the time I'm 28 or 29, you know, I could at least start settling down with just one female. You know, it'd be like the equivalent of a life partner, you know what I'm saying? You just be like, let's journey together. You know what I mean? We still do what we want to do. You know what I'm saying? But by that time, it's like, why, you know what I'm saying? Why have sex with somebody else when you got somebody that you should already have on your side that's willing to experiment the way you want to experiment? You know what I mean? Who can help you enjoy the sexual side of life? You know what I'm saying? After talking with somebody for 2 or 3 years, you letting her know what you like and what you want to find out about and adventure in. And if she's still down with you after that, then it's like, yo, you have a person that you can go through sexual experiences with. Find out what you like and what you don't like. And be secure about it. You know what I'm saying? Honesty can bring security. I think honesty can bring security. Because look how it is within a family unit. You know what I mean? If you don't lie to your parents, then you don't get in trouble, right? And then you have, you know what I'm saying, that love that you have between a parent and a child, it continues to grow. And that trust continues to grow. That trust grows to where a parent can trust that child to do things on their own and do things with other people, whatever. Well, it's like that, you know what I'm saying, even as we're adults, trying to trust somebody. You know what I mean? As the trust grows, other things grow as well. But see, I didn't do all that. I didn't follow my own beliefs in how life should be. I ended up having a child at 17. The mother of my child didn't want me around. I had a job, and I told her that no, I didn't want to get married at 17. I didn't want to be a statistic. I didn't want to sit up here and have the ups and downs. Then next thing you know, we getting a divorce. We mad at each other. We going through child support issues. I was like, man, let me be your boyfriend and let me be a father to my child. I'm working. You know what I'm saying? I had a job that I could have worked up the branches. I was at Long John Silver's, but still, you know what I mean? This is back in, oh my God, this is back when Long John Silver's was really getting popular. And making manager wasn't that hard. You know what I'm saying? As long as you was there for a certain amount of time, you could move up with promotions. But anyway, after having that child, I ended up dropping out of school. I got expelled. I didn't drop out. I got expelled for some stupid shit. But school wasn't for me in the first place because it bored me. There wasn't anything there that I felt valuable enough to stay, really. So that's why I continued to, self-destruct. And so, my mom was like, you're not just gonna stay at home, you gotta work. So, I was working and things like that. And then that's when I had the child. I had a child after I got expelled, as a matter of fact. So, I continued to work. And then I moved out. Had to come back home. Moved out again. And once I moved out the second time, I had stayed away from home from that point. I went to trade school, and it was like that trade school was my college experience, and it was cool. I should have stayed there longer. My trade was cooking, and you had basic, and then you had advanced. And when I finished advanced cooking, my instructor was like, yo, why don't you stick around a little bit? Let me take you under my wing. I can show you some things. Because I was supposed to transition from that trade school to a culinary arts school. But they only take so many applicants a season. And for that season, it was full. So that's why he was like, yo, let me take you under my wing and, show you some more things. Some things that could help you out as you make your transition. But I didn't do that. I wanted to get out. I was bored. And so I had already met a young lady that had a son. And I thought that we were doing good. She didn't want to move to my home state. But I was in her home state in trade school. And it's expensive there. And so I was like, man, you don't want to go to where I live where it's not as expensive, but I don't want to stay here. I was like, we're going to have to make a compromise. And so to get to the point where I agree with him on this, it's like in your 20s, you should put in the most work so that way you can start to get comfortable in your job, get comfortable in your surroundings, you know what I'm saying? So that way you can level up without so much of a struggle. in your 30s. That's what I'm agreeing with him about. You know, you could still, okay, check this out. There's 24 hours in a day, right? When you're in school, like when you're elementary, high school, middle school, you got 8 hours of school. Okay, then you go home, you got 8 hours before you actually go to sleep. And then you sleep for 8 hours. And you wake up, repeat the cycle, right? Well, when you get older, you usually substitute the 8 hours of school with 8, 9, 10 hours worth of work. And when you get off work, you have about 6 to 7 hours to sit back and fuck off. And then you go to bed to try to get your 8 hours worth of sleep. So it's still kind of, it's similar to being back in school. If you're disciplined, you know, you take that 6, 7 hours time, and you gotta think, man, as an adult, you got laundry, you got bills, you got a home to take care of, you know what I mean? What I mean by taking care of is, you gotta keep it clean. So you got your vacuuming day, you got your laundry day, you know what I mean? You got your days that you do all your grocery shopping, you know what I mean? And then you got a day or two that you try to chill all to yourself, you know what I mean? But basically you can't do all that in one day. That's a lot of wasted gas, you know what I mean? Let's say you go to the grocery store one day after work. It might take like 3 or 4 hours. So then when you get home, you put all your shit up. That's leaving the house, going to the grocery store, coming back home and putting it up. About 3 or 4 hours. So that means you got like 2 or 3 hours to eat, shower, watch some TV before you go to sleep. If you discipline, you can work on a schedule like that. So it's like, where do you have room to get with somebody from the opposite sex? You know what I mean? Where is the room for that? There is no room for that. But what I learned vicariously through other people is that when you try to squeeze all that extra fun shit into your life, you start making mistakes. You're too tired to wake up on time, or to wake up with a decent attitude to journey through that day. You know what I mean? When you try to do all that playing and partying and having sex after work, it drains you. It really drains you. I used to think that people were squares, nerds, geeks type people, just because they was disciplined. You want to go out? Nah, man. But sit here, chill. I got some things to do. Got to catch up on laundry. Then I'm going to eat, go to bed. You know what I'm saying? Watch me a football game or something. Think, man, whatever. You a lame-o. You know what I'm saying? Then I go out and I do my thing. Next thing you know, I'm the one who don't have my own place. You know what I'm saying? I don't have, those responsibilities that I should have had. And then I get into my 30s. And that's when I was like, I had the house, you know what I'm saying, had the wife, had, the stepkids, and was like, man, I'm still not happy. I'm still not content. You know what I mean? Me and this woman that I'm with, we're not as happy as we could be. You know what I'm saying? We're still trying to invent things, our personalities. We're still trying to grow. We're still trying to obtain some goals that we couldn't do when we were younger because we was too busy doing other shit. And what I mean by that, for an example, the last woman I was with wanted to open up a shop, a crafting shop, like a book crafting or something like that. And so she did, but it wasn't easy. She needed some partners. She couldn't do it independently on her own, and she still had 2 kids, and she had, and of course I was there, but I didn't want nothing to do with it. I was there as backer. I would back her up, you know what I mean? But other than that, I'm like, that's your thing. You do your thing, you know what I'm saying? You handle the in and outs, and you know what I'm saying? You go and you find your own shop. You know what I'm saying? You go and you order your own supplies, little things like that. But if you need somebody to help you manage the money and the books, I might do some light work like that. That wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It's just one of those things where I'm like, yo, that's not me, that's you. So we're going separate directions. That wasn't cool, huh? I got tired of it. She got tired of it. But anyway, I'm gonna get off this video because I know the little puppy is wanting to do some shit. But anyway, as far as the motivational advice for young people, I think you need to do what you can during the time that you have. I think you need to do the things you can do while you can. You know what I'm saying? There's no particular rule book to it. You gotta follow your heart, and you gotta do what you can do without having any regrets. Think towards your future at all costs, so that way you can sit back and prepare yourself to live a disciplined life, so you won't have any regrets later on. You gotta experience what you can experience. You got to. You know what I mean? I look at YouTube videos and I'm like, I wish I had gone camping with my friends, cooked outside, went fishing, catch and cook. You know what I'm saying? Catch something, cook it. Catch something, clean it, cook it with your friends, things like that. You know what I mean? In your 20s, going into your 30s. You know what I'm saying? It's like something to create bonds with while you're able to. So it's like, man, you got to constantly plan something, and then, make some strategies in case you need to make a change here or a change there. But for the most part, when you need to make a change, you need to follow your heart and make that change. And then there's something about buckling down, you know what I'm saying? The discipline part that keeps you buckled down, you know what I'm saying? So you won't do too much. You won't overdo certain things. But like I said, there's no rule book to life. You know what I'm saying? The most basic stuff is being a genuine, honest person, watching your back, keeping your circle small. You know what I'm saying? Don't put yourself in a position to be a victim of anything. You know what I mean? Keep yourself secure at all times and keep learning things in life. Get around people who are wise. You know what I'm saying? If you're not going to hang out with them, if they're not going to be your best friends, at least have advisors in your life, people that have done well in their life, that when you say, I need your advice, you can really see that the advice that you're getting from them could work, for the basic reason that their life is going well, very well. I'm going to get off of here. I want you to have a good day. I want you to have a good night. I want you to have a good morning. And I want you to put a lot of thought into your life. You know what I'm saying? You can't be so serious all the time. But you got to make sure that you're using your time wisely. There's 24 hours in a day. Question is, what are you going to do with those 24 hours? You know what I'm saying? My name's Podrey, and I'm going to get out of here. I want to get out of here. Peace.
Give them prayer hands, say what's up America. Half of you should know me, right? Other half a replica. Shout out to my